Hello and welcome back to Moonlight Museum and of course 2 Point Museum. Where we last left off, we got a whole bunch more expeditions done, and I just went over the map in my spare time to look at what we actually need in order to basically finish the Netherworld. And there's a little bit that we need to do. So I'm going to pause the game. The very first thing that I want to do is jump into my experts job assignments and ensure that the only person currently doing any kind of analysis is Camilla Hogwash. I'm old Greg. I can't remember what we wanted to use him for, but I actually had a look through and I don't think we need him to level up to level 15. We just need Camilla Hogwash to get Spirit Whispering level 2. There are a couple of people we need to train, so I'm going to open the training menu real quick. We need one of our janitors. No, not one of our janitors. One of our security guards. Usha Pugwash here needs to get Strolling Surveillance level 2. So we're going to start that. What else did I have here? Pandora Pike, I believe, is an assistant. If we have a look for them, they need to get Happy Thoughts level 2 and then level 3. So we're actually going to send her out on some XP missions a little bit later on. Who else did we need? I believe that's it. For right now, I believe that is all we can train up, but we need to get some people some experience. So I want to do a couple of things to help with that. The first of those things is I would like to get another helipad in this museum. Where I'm going to put it? Who knows? That's a great question. Maybe down here somewhere could work. I guess that's fine. It's a little bit far from everything that I, want them to have access to. I could also throw it down here potentially. I can unlock this plot and we could have like a little another staff room and a helipad over here. That's not a terrible idea. I don't mind that. So I'm going to purchase that and we'll get another helipad down there. But the other thing that I wanted to do before we get too far into this is address my tours, because I currently only have one tour set up and it's not even set up well. It's only got 3 exhibitions on it. So I'm going to take all of those exhibitions off of that and see if we can come up with something a little bit better. So for starters, I'm going to go those 4 and those ones there. That is a perfect length. It has great cohesion. I believe something is taking away from that, but I don't 100% know which one it is. What is taking away from my cohesion here? Oh, that's just messing up my list, but okay, let me just check. Let's deselect all of them again and we'll do them one by one. Perfect, 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 this one, and this one. Okay. So that is perfect as it is there. If we add in something like this, that's going to take it down to great. Maybe great's okay. Maybe we do that and come back to that. Yeah, that works. That gets us like 4 and 5, 6 stars. I'm okay with that. I think that's okay. I think that'll work. The main reason I want to do this is just to get a few more tours in. They don't all have to be perfect, but this is going to be good enough for me. What happens if we take these 2 out? Yeah, that's still just great. Add that in, maybe. Or do we just do... Yeah, no, I think I'm going to do that. I think that's going to be the plan. But we'll go here first, up to here, over to here, and to there. No, we can't add that one in, but that's fine. We can add that in somewhere else. So that's going to be my first tour. We are going to need a few more tour stands. And the thing is, I don't have a ton of room to throw this down. I guess I could throw it like at the end here and move this. That might be what I end up doing. Are you guys attached to anything else? Yeah, you guys can use that. I think everything else will still be covered and we can throw down another tour stand like at the end of this. Maybe if we remove you and throw our tour stand, I don't know, somewhere like there will be fine. And then we can go up this way. This one was included in the other one, right? And we can go up. Why would you do that? Why would you walk all the way around? That's silly. Is stuff in the way? Is that book in the way? Hold on. If we grab this book and move it to there, does that fix that problem? Let's go back into the tour setup. and say, yeah, that's better. This is still perfect length, perfect length. Cohesion's only okay because we added a couple of plants in there. That is great. And if we do that, and that, and that. I mean, that drops the length down to great, but people are still fine with it. I think that's what we'll end up with for that one. And that will be great. These two plants are going to be a little bit odd. Potentially we could move all of our plants down to here if we wanted to. But I don't think I'm going to worry about that just yet. I think I will, however, add one more tour guide, something like there. And we can just, tour setup, just add all of our ghosts in, right? That's going to be absolutely 5 stars. Perfect. I love it. So we will do that. And that is going to mean we're going to have to hire a couple more tour guides, right? Because we currently don't really have that many options. Unfortunately, none of these guys are supernatural. So we will go ahead and start an advert for that. And we also need to go ahead and hire ourselves another janitor. And the reason that we need to do that is because I require a janitor with 2 aerodynamics, and currently we don't have anyone with those abilities. So I'm looking for a janitor with either no skills or a janitor with aerodynamics as their first skill, right? That is what we are looking for. But with that all being said and done, I don't know if we can build on this yet, but we may as well try. So if we jump into our thingy over here, we can grab ourselves a helipad, and yes, we can. All right, so where is our helipad going to go? I kind of want it to be in the middle of this little cutout thing here. Or do I just put it in the corner here and say that's good? Because, I mean, that functions, right? They can walk over here and get to that. And it's kind of closer to our staff rooms than if we threw it over here. Maybe we'll do something with that a little bit later, but for right now, I think that's going to be fine. Now, in terms of the expeditions that I want to do today, there are a few locations that I want to go to. And I think the first one that I want to experiment with is going to involve Pandora Pike here. So maybe we don't do that yet. Maybe we start one that we can actually do. And I believe the the Mushroom Wilds is one that we can go ahead and get done. So for this, we need someone with 2 levels of Happy Thoughts, which is going to be Camilla Hogwash, and our janitor is going to be Barry Grotto. That cancels out everything. I don't have any surveillance scanners, survey scanners. That's unfortunate. I'm going to send them on a detailed expedition for the moment just to get this started. And then someone also pointed out that I have not upgraded my workshop. So we are also going to do that and queue up a survey scanner so that we can start getting this done. So that is all for now. Let's just quickly double check if we get anyone in here. Perfect, eloquent, absolutely fantastic. We are going to set you up with tour guidelines straight away, and we're also going to look at our janitors. You're no good to us, that's fine. And we can go into our staff assignments and make sure that expert that we just hired is basically only doing tour guides, right? They can also do ghost capture and spirit restoration. I suppose that's fine. So I'm going to jump into a time lapse as we do this expedition. Get everyone here trained up. I will go ahead and do a pay review once all that training is complete, and then we'll come back. All right, we have 2 potential janitors that we can hire. We have Norman Nosh and Eleanor Hunt. Eleanor Hunt has slow recovery from injuries, and Norman Nosh has improved survey level. So that is going to be you. You're going to jump straight into there, and you're going to get aerodynamics. I am also going to go ahead and rename you so that I can actually remember that. Where are you? Norman Nosh, you are 2A. Just so that I remember, you are the one that I am training up in aerodynamics, and that should be all good to go. In a minute here, I will begin sending some people out on expeditions just to get them leveled up a little bit, but we do have a dilemma in the meantime. Ladles of Fear. Shivering against the Netherworld's biting cold, your explorers struggle to scoop beans from a tin before realizing their only spoon has become haunted. Reason with the spoon? Sure, why not? After bribing it with 3 weeks vacation, the spoon relents and allows the team to use it as a spooning implement. That gives us high morale. Absolutely fantastic. So we need to start sending some people off on XP missions. And we have 2 choices for that, right? We have the Afterlife Academy, which we have used before, but we also have the Malicious Dungeon down here. And this is going to require 2 of any staff and a spirit key. We do have a spirit key in our inventory, so I'm tempted to do this. And this has some interesting rewards. It has 4 different perks, staff XP, and money, so I'm a little bit curious as to how this works. Our first person here is going to have to be our survival expert, because we do not want to get hellholed on this expedition. And then our next one is going to be Happy Thoughts. We can't do this at the moment anyway. Spring apparently has the Nether Nightmare, so scratch that. But if I was going to do this, I would be sending Pandora Pike, if I can find them, because this can be absolutely anyone. I'd be sending Pandora Pike here because I actually need her to have 3 levels of Happy Thoughts. She has the 1 which counters out this. I thought we could do that, but unfortunately, that Nether Nightmare is ruining things a little bit. So instead, we will go to the Afterlife Academy, and we will choose Pandora Pike. I imagine is probably our best bet here. We could also send the janitor that we just got, but I believe he's currently in training, so we'll wait on that a little bit. Yeah, 2A Norman Nosh is currently in training, so we're looking for Pandora Pike. We're looking for 2 hearts, and there you go. And we'll send you off to go get some more levels. I'm going to continue with this location. I'm going to continue leveling up my staff. Once this finishes, I will also go ahead and do a pay review. And in the meantime, we need to start deconstructing some things. Unfortunately, that was a botany exhibit, so it's not going to give the person we need any experience, but we don't have anything else to deconstruct at the moment anyway, so that's going to be absolutely fine. I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm also just quickly training Benji Lane in the workshop because our current workshop person, Barry Grotto, is the one who is going out on these expeditions, so that's not going to work. We will get him trained up and hopefully that helps out a little bit. But we are continuing to level up Pandora Pike here until she gets to the level where she can have 3 levels of Happy Thoughts. Alright, and the curse is now gone because it is no longer spring. So we should be able to go ahead and do this with, who was it? We need the 1 level of Happy Thoughts, so that's going to be the Pike lady, Pandora Pike. And our other staff member is going to be our survival expert. If I can find them, we have so many staff. Davina Catborn. And I'm curious as to see what they come back with. I'm going to do detailed just because I would like the survey level to go up. I don't know if it's 100% necessary here because I don't know if these perks have quality to them, but we'll see. So I'm going to start that expedition and we'll come back once they come back and see what that is all about. And of course, I forgot to change my staff assignments when I hired another tour guide. So we're going to go into our experts here and make sure that Angel Lynx, please do not do analysis. We are saving that for Camilla Hogwash, who is currently out, actually. That'll be fine. We'll let her finish this analysis as soon as she gets back, and then we'll go from there. But we do have this back, and if we have a look here at Pandora Pike, she's left with only 50 out of 800 XP, so she got a nice 250 XP from that. I think I will continue doing so. Both of these guys can continue going on this expedition. Looks like Davina Catborn actually got the Afterlife XP, but they still got 259, which is going to be faster than anything else, I think. And there you go, big knowledge boost. Gain 2 knowledge when viewing an exhibit. So I'm absolutely going to take that. That is good to know. I think we're going to continue doing our leveling up at that location because that seems somewhat profitable to me. I don't know about you, but that seems good to me. So we are going to continue sending them off down there, even though it is kind of annoying going through this entire list and finding the people we need. But that is Davina Catborn and Pandora Pike. So you guys can go off there. We can't actually take any cargo because we don't... Oh, that's a spirit key every time? Oh, that's expensive. Well, maybe we're not doing that then. Instead, I guess I'll continue sending Pandora Pike over to the Afterlife Academy. And yeah, in the meantime, I will build up a few spirit keys to get that done a little bit quicker. But yeah, that's rough. That is rough, especially when we also need to be building, what are they called? Survey scanners. Unfortunate, but good to know. Do we have any exhibits that don't have stuff on them? Probably, right? I believe there was one we didn't fill up, but maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I actually fixed that. Yeah, looks like they're all full. Okay, well, when we get a new exhibit, we can go ahead and throw that perk on it, and that will be good. For right now, I am going to continue with the survey scanners, just because we do need them a little bit more than anything else. But we'll go ahead and open this. You're going to get 132. That's 444. I wonder when I open this if you'll get more. So if we claim that and then zoom in and look at Pandora Pike here, yeah, you do. You get a little bit extra. So that's not too bad. You're pretty close to leveling up to level 10, which is all we need. And that'll be fine. So I'm going to continue on with the time lapse. We'll go ahead and get every pristine exhibit from this location and continue leveling up Pandora Pike at the other location. Another dilemma has occurred, optional extras. As the team is about to carry away the precious artifact, an opportunistic salesman appears from nowhere to offer them an upgrade. I feel like I did sounds reasonable before and it just didn't work for me. I'm going to make a counteroffer and see what happens. Not too bad. If you've ever tried negotiating with a salesperson, you really understand why this expedition ended so severely behind schedule. So the expedition is going to take an extra 12 days, which kind of sucks. But exhibit quality is going to go up by +1, so I am happy enough with that. Time really isn't a factor for us at the moment. I think I'm going to call that a win. I think. And there is our very first shiny, pristine exhibit. That is the Frogborn. And I'm going to make an educated guess that you want a natural habitat, so I'm going to throw you in there, and I think I might have been wrong. You don't want to share a room with anyone. Wow, spoiled much. But that's okay, we can go ahead and fix that. I was right that they wanted natural decor. They are a medic, so they actually have a chance to cure staff injuries, which is kind of fun. And yeah, you don't want to be in here at all, so I think what we can do is we can just copy this room. Actually, before I do that, I am going to need to get rid of these because they're going to be in the way. We can go ahead and copy this room, throw it down there, and press the tick button. Go ahead and grab ourselves our hanging signs that we like to use, throw them on either side, and make sure that there's nothing on the edge that we want to throw on this side, which there probably is. We'll throw a trash can down there. And maybe even throw another one of these. If I can get it in the same spot. I believe that's about the same. And then I will also go ahead and edit this tour so it includes this as well. That is going to change the length. If you guys go there first, and then there, and then there, that's perfect. So we've got epic quality. Why is quality epic? Do we have an epic ghost that I don't know about? We're going to confirm that for the moment, but let's just quickly have a look here. These guys should all be pristine, please. Maybe it's because we didn't move our ghost yet. Let's see. Where are you? You are the one that's not happy because you don't want to share a room. So if we go ahead and pick you up and throw you down there, does that increase this? If we go to tour setup. Yeah, that's better. Average quality pristine, decoration perfect, cohesion perfect, length perfect. 5 out of 5, absolutely fantastic. And let's just double check that you are indeed happy now. You are. Everyone in here should be happy as well, except for Twiggy Silverbottom because we don't have his friends. Everyone in here should be happy. It's only apparently one person. And then everyone in here should be happy too. Perfect. So that is fantastic. That tour should hopefully make us a decent amount of money. We are going to continue on. We currently have our expert who goes to that location studying a thing. So instead, I'm going to start another XP expedition here for the janitor that we want to level up. And then we'll switch back over to the expedition that we were currently doing. So for right now, why can't I do that? Hello? Start expedition? Is it because someone was already going there? Yeah, okay. So apparently I'm not going to do that. Instead, we will continue sending Pandora Pike to that location, and then I guess once she's leveled up, we can go ahead and switch that out for the janitor. And in the meantime, I did go ahead and make myself another spirit key. So we're going to set up another expedition to the Malicious Dungeon, again with Pandora Pike down here, as well as our survival expert, just as a little bit of a guide for her so that no one goes missing. We can choose our spirit key as our thing. I'm going to do detailed. I don't know if it matters, but we're going to do that. And then, since this is still analyzing, we can go ahead and send our janitor off to the XP location. I believe they're going to be at the bottom. To a Norman Nosh, you can go ahead and get some XP while you're about. So that should be fine. And I can also upgrade my workstation again, which is going to be fantastic. That deconstruction is finished, so we're going to continue on with deconstructing our plants. And yeah, we're just going to continue on until we have all the pristine versions from that location and all of the knowledge from that location. And I'll come back whenever we get our first pristine version of those and show you where we put them. All right, we got a brand new perk. This is the Haunt Halter. Neutralizes the effects of a possessed exhibit. Interesting. I don't know what that does, actually. Are you a possessed exhibit? Do we have any possessed exhibits? Maybe you. Also, you don't have things. Does that do what I want it to do? Does that neutralize the dump scare? Maybe. I don't know, but let's try it and see what happens. I mean, it can't hurt, right? We'll see. As soon as that's done, we'll come back and see if that actually did anything. And it does not look like it did, unless it just doesn't tell me. Do we have any possessed exhibits? Is that like a thing that I can see somewhere? You a possessed exhibit? No. Dump scare. Oh, you also don't have things. We can go ahead and throw the big knowledge boost on you. That should be good. I don't see any possessed exhibits here. But at least it's not being obvious to me if it is a thing that I have. If you guys know what that's about, I would love to know down in the comments below, because I can't figure it out. But that's going to be fine. We'll continue throwing our things on these guys. You can get an entertainment boost, and that'll be fine. All right, we have another pristine exhibit that we can throw down. It is another plant, and I am thinking that our plants should probably all move somewhere over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw anything that's over here into my inventory. And I am also going to grab, if I can come over here, grab this guy, throw him in the inventory, and throw you in the inventory. I will also go ahead and get rid of that air conditioner because it is no longer necessary. And we can go ahead and throw the exhibits that weren't plants over here instead. So I think you can go there. You should be happy enough, absolutely. And we can throw the ghost nets in this corner here. I think that'll work out just fine. We'll throw that right there. You need to move over just a little bit to make that look a little bit neater. Maybe you need to move over as well. We do something like that. That sort of works for me. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. And then we have a whole bunch of plants in our inventory that we can go ahead and throw down. So before we start doing that, I am going to get rid of the heater and the mister over here, as well as I think all of the decorations. So I'm going to get rid of all the decorations and stuff over here. I might even move this tour guide station to somewhere else, maybe on the other side, and then or just leave it there and leave this one for plants and have another one set up for these ghosts. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of redecorating over here and see what we can come up with. All right, so judging by their colors, which is probably not the right way to do it. But it looks like we might have 3 cold biome plants. My goodness, that is huge. I was not expecting you to be so big. Where is your sticker? right at the front there. Okay. Well, I guess you're going to live over here somewhere because that makes the most sense. That is absolutely massive. I did not expect that even a little bit. And then we can throw the ghost plant down, like, I don't know, somewhere over here. Like so. And we can throw down our chili plant over here. Or maybe we line these up. No, I think I like it over here better. Even though this is a far too large area for this plant. Yeah, no, it's going to go over here. I think it's just going to look better. We can do something like that. And we can grab the Hemogobbler. I don't believe has a heat condition. So I'm going to throw it over here because it sort of fits a little bit. And then we can throw our last plant, the Blooming Buffoon, down over here, which is going to fit quite nicely as well. We can maybe move that Hemogobbler over just a little bit to give this a little bit more room, just like so. And that is the new little plant section. It's not perfect. We might go ahead and build a new plant section at some point. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm going to decorate this out and see if we can make this look any good. You require a hot climate? Well, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. In that case, I'm going to move these guys over a little bit because that's not going to work for me. And we can throw this guy down in there as a little bit of a buffer, right? So I'll figure this out and then we'll come back. Alright, that should be all of these plants happy, which is fantastic. I don't know if I love where this is, but you know, it's going to work for the moment, and we can go ahead and throw in another tour guide stand right about there and include all of those plants. That should be pretty good. I believe one of them is messing with the cohesion a little bit, but you know, it's going to be fine. It's 4.5 stars. That'll be absolutely fine. This is going to be a botany expert, which I don't believe we have one of those that can do tours at the moment. So let's just quickly check our job assignments. We have Laurel Payback and Quenzel Drum here. Quenzel Drum, honestly, you can just learn it, please. Go ahead and learn tour guidelines. That can be your job. You know what? We should probably assign it to both of them. So I'm going to give that to both of them just because I have had issues in the past where we do that and then it doesn't work out because they never get a break. So let's just quickly also check this. This is still perfect length, which is absolutely fine. And that should be all good to go. So I'm going to continue on with this location. That is going to add in another plant that I didn't think about before I rearranged that entire section, but that'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I also just want to quickly check this tour guide is okay. I'm going to reset this up because I did add a couple more things to this location. So if we just choose all of those and then circle back to there, length is only okay. Length is perfect if we don't include that. What if we include that a little bit earlier? If we include it there and then scooch over to there, that'll get us great. We can do perfect if we don't include that last one. Yeah, I think that's worth doing. Cohesion is great. Decoration is perfect. That'll absolutely do. Perfect. All right, we're going to continue on with the expeditions. Oh, and we don't actually need to do Pandora Pike anymore. She leveled up to level 10 without me noticing, probably while I was rearranging that whole area. So instead, we are going to be sending Norman Nosh. We just need to get him to level 5, so that really shouldn't take too long. And we can go ahead and open our training menu. Go to our... Were you an assistant, Pandora? Yes, you were. Go to her, give her Happy Thoughts level 3. And I believe that unlocks a new location that we can actually now visit. Once, of course, we finish this one. So that should be good as well. But I'll come back once anything interesting happens. And another dilemma. Rhyme or reason, as your team wanders aimlessly through the misty gloom, an irritated, high-pitched, ghostly voice cries, "I will show you the way, but you have to pay." Be thankful. That gives us another blessing, and our expedition is 7 days less. Absolutely fantastic. We're going to continue on. With all of these new plant exhibits as well, it's probably worth our while to go ahead and hire another botany expert, just to make sure these things don't die, because there is every chance that they will. It seems like we're on top of it at the moment, but we're struggling a little bit, so we'll wait for a new candidate to come in with that, because we are also doing deconstruction at the moment. That is taking up some of our experts' time. This should come in. Chris Rawhide, you are officially hired. I'm going to immediately train you in tour guidelines, and then make sure you are assigned to do tours, which you are. Please don't do analysis. I really don't need you to do analysis, but that should be all good. All right, Norman Nosh has leveled up to level 5. We are immediately going to give him the second level in aerodynamics, and I believe that is pretty much everyone apart from Camilla Hogwash, who needs one more level and they will be trained in Spirit Whispering. But I think that is everyone we actually need to do all the things that we need to do. So as soon as, what was her name? Camilla Hogwash levels up, we should be good to go to do all of the expeditions on the Netherworld, apart from the aquarium one, because we don't have that unlocked just yet. There was a suggestion in the comments that maybe we could unlock that, but I'm not 100% sure. We also just got another Frogborn. I will go ahead and deconstruct them using Camilla Hogwash, give her a little bit of a break for the moment. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and set up a new expedition to a new location that doesn't require Camilla Hogwash. And that is probably going to be the Hellhole Hangout. So in here, this one, we aren't going to get this done. This is just going to have to be a thing that we're going to deal with, because if we wanted to be able to do this, we would have to retrain basically everyone, or we'd have to train up our survival expert all the way up to like level 20. And honestly, I just don't think that's going to happen. So instead, we're using our assistant, which is Pandora Pike. That's why we trained them up. We have our security guard that we trained up, Usha Pugwash, with Strolling Surveillance level 2. And our other security guard really doesn't matter, so we're probably going to send Sam Moose with his photographic memory, and we can use our survey scanner. Now, we are going to have to deal with this curse. I don't know what this curse does, but just based on the title, I don't know if it actually curses us or if it just gives our people less experience, which we don't care about at the moment because everyone is leveled up as far as they need to be. So this is going to give us 65. If we do detailed, we'll get up to 75. Yeah, I think doing detailed is going to be worth it. So I'm going to set up that expedition down here. Once we deconstruct Frogborn, I'll continue sending Camilla Hogwash off to do that location we haven't yet completed. And yeah, that's the plan for now. So we'll be back in a little bit. All right, what happened here? You have curse traumatic experience on Sam Moose. That is interesting to know. We also get our first spirit there that we can go ahead and deconstruct. Let's quickly have a look at Sam Moose here. If I can find them, that is, of course, the last one I click on. You have traumatic XP. You won't gain XP until the curse is lifted. I don't care. That is absolutely fine with me. I'm going to continue sending them on that expedition while we continue with the other one. How is Camilla doing over here? She's currently at 13. Yeah, I think we'll continue with the expeditions for now. And then once those are finished, I'll get her to mass deconstruct anything that's left until she's up to level 15 where we need her. So I'll continue on. I'm just going to pause for a little bit here. I am going to start deconstructing these exhibits I do need to go into my job assignments in order to get that done, and I'm going to send I'm Old Greg in there to do that. We will go ahead and level him up to level 15. I don't know what we're going to give him yet, but that should help us out, just get through these deconstructions a little bit faster. I think Camilla Hogwash is going to level up pretty much on her own just from these expeditions anyway. But one thing that I do want to do before we go too much further is I want to discover whether or not we can unlock this location. So this is display 150 aquarium buzz and display a cold water aquarium. To do that, I'm not going to build an aquarium here. I am going to go to the museum map and quickly load up our aquarium museum of Passwater Cove. I don't know if we have a cold water museum in here. I assume that we do. I can't remember. But hopefully, as soon as we load in here, that will just automatically complete itself, potentially. We just do that, install the perk, that's fine. Okay, let's look at the world map and look at the Netherworld and check this. Okay, so we don't have a cold water museum, but we can pin that. And what we can do is we can... do we have any empty aquariums in here? Probably not, right? These are probably all full. For a specific reason? Yeah, they are. That's unfortunate. Well, what we can do is we can cheese this a little bit. If we go into our rooms and we say aquarium and we make it as small as we possibly can. What's the minimum size? The minimum size, of course, is 4x3. Aquarium. Do we have anywhere we can put a 4x3 building? Absolutely not. What we can do, though, is jump in here. This is currently a moderate temperature. So what we can do is we can edit this room and we can say a cold water cooler can go in here somewhere maybe. Do we have anywhere this will fit? Come on, just let me have it. Let me have it. I know it fits. There we go. Perfect. That is done. That officially completes that objective. And before we unpause time, we just remove that cold water thing. And now we should be able to go back to the Wayland Lodge, and that location should be unlocked. Simple as that. So thankfully that wasn't particularly hard to unlock. I don't know if we're going to go to that location because I don't know what the requirements are, but we will quickly take a look. If we look at the world map, go to the Netherworld and see this brand new location. It is going to require a marine life expert. The rewards are just basically 2 cold water fish, so we probably won't do this location for this museum, but that's going to be fine. At least we've unlocked it. And I believe that is all of the locations unlocked. Yes, 26 discovered, 26 unlocked. Unless there's any more hiding that I don't know about, please do let me know in the comments if there are. But for right now, we're going to continue on with the expeditions we are currently running. All right, we have another famous spirit. We have Hester Hellhole, co-leader of the Hellhole Gang, the worst bunch of rotters in this life or the next. Hester competes with her twin brother Humphrey to see who can be the most horrible. There are no winners, so we should go ahead and get her down somewhere. I don't know what she likes, even a little bit, so we are just going to go ahead and place her in a random room and see what happens. So you want to have the Hellhole safe, which is a thing. Have a room big enough for 5 spirits. That's kind of annoying because these fit 4. You also want to have no natural decor, which is fine, and no antique bookcase. You prefer industrial age, which is this room. We could potentially just make this room a little bit bigger, and I think that will be fine. All we'll need to do is go ahead and move this over to the other side, which shouldn't mess up your track too much. We'll go ahead and move these out of the way for the moment. Jump in this room and edit it, and we'll add another row right there. Except that, go back into the room to edit it so that it actually works a little bit better. Like so. We'll rotate that back to sort of where it was. This should be somewhat in the middle, I think. I think that's going to look better. You can come in a little. You can go to there. What are you colliding with? Oh, I accidentally copied it rather than picking it up. You can go there and that should be okay. Now we just need to grab old Hester here. pick her up, throw her down in here. You need to have the safe and no antique bookcase. So I actually have 2 antique bookcases in here, so that's actually kind of unfortunate because I believe someone else didn't want a fireplace in here. So we have to find something to put at the end of the wall that makes a little bit of sense. It can't be natural decor. It can't be a fireplace. We could have a lodge radiator, but that doesn't really make sense to me. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of good options. We can maybe just like throw an antique table down in both of those spots. I hope everyone's fine with that. Let's have a quick look. The only thing you're missing now is you want an antique bookcase. Okay. You're fine, and you are fine. So Margaret Fitzpocket, can we move you somewhere else? Do we have another industrial age room? We do over here. Potentially we can move one of these guys. Share a room with the chimney sweep, that's not going to work. You want a clock and don't share a room with a cheeseball legend. You are my chimney sweep, so we're going to pick you up, move you over here, grab Margaret Fitzpocket, pick you up, move you over here, and then that might be okay. You want the easel, which is over here, so we'll grab that, pick you up and throw you down somewhere in here. I guess you can live, I don't know, there will be fine. And hopefully everyone is now happy. You're happy. You are happy. You are happy. Perfect. How about in here? Are you guys all happy? You're happy. You're happy. You just want the exhibit that we don't have yet, and you don't want to share a room with a cheeseball legend. Who is our cheeseball legend? Kingpin Twin. Cheeseball legend. Okay, so Elkle Tacklebag is our cheeseball legend. So you don't want to share a room with a rival cheeseball legend, but the other one just doesn't want to share a room with one at all, is what I'm getting here. That's unfortunate. Well, we might just leave you there for the moment. I think you'll be fine enough. I don't think you're going to really mind that much. The only thing left to do, of course, is to move these back. We are going to lose out on a little bit of buzz, but short of building a whole nother room just for one of them, I don't think it's worth it, and I don't really feel like going on another expedition to find a different version of them. So we're going to leave that as it is. What? Okay, that's fine. Everything just had a cross on it for a second there. I was a little bit scared. But we're going to continue on with the expeditions for now. And there is the hellhole safe, which we can go ahead and throw down with our new famous spirit. Right in here, I believe it was. That can probably live, I don't know, next to this table seems fine. That'll work just fine. I believe this room is fully decorated. Everyone is happy. That should make Hester Hellhole fully happy. She is now giving us 135 buzz, which is fantastic. We are still losing a little bit because of that other one, but like I said, I'm not going to worry about it too much, so we will continue on. I think this might be bugged. This progress isn't going anywhere. You're not getting any XP, so I'm going to try and fix that by picking you up, dropping you down. Hopefully you'll go to the toilet and fix up any of your needs. Potentially this needs to be fixed. I'm not sure. If that doesn't work, I will go ahead and cancel that and restart it, but let's just quickly just check. Maybe that'll fix it. Where are you going? You're having a break? Okay. Okay, take your time. It's going to be fine. I'll continue setting up these expeditions in the meantime, and we'll come back and double check on that. And it looks like that did indeed fix the issue. I don't know what happened there. Looks like Camilla Hogwash is actually back in here, which is fine. You're very welcome to get that XP. So I will wait for that to finish before I send her back out again, and we'll continue on with the other one in the meantime. Another rhyme or reason dilemma. I'm going to be thankful again. That's going to take us a nether blessing and 7 days off the expedition time. Absolutely fantastic. We're slowly but surely learning what all the dilemmas are, which I don't think is the point. I don't think you're meant to know what they all do, but you know, it is what it is. This deconstruction is almost finished as well, so we can go ahead and set up the expedition back to the Mushroom Wild. We are still looking for the Spring on Flower, which I honestly don't really care about that much because it is botany, and this is mostly a supernatural museum, but for the sake of completedness, I am going to try and find the pristine version of that and get it deconstructed. For the moment, I'm going to deconstruct another plant because I think that'll be fine, and we will continue on. Alright, that is our first normal pristine exhibit. I believe, since you are a Hellhold henchman, you would like to share a room with your person. It doesn't look like you actually care all that much. Pleased to be inside. Fantastic. Does that increase anything on our actual Hester Hellhole at all? No, don't think so. But they're in there with them. They should be happy enough. Let me just quickly double check that they are indeed happy. Where is my henchman? You. Yep, you are 100% happy. We just need to deconstruct you for a little bit more knowledge. But that should be all good to go. And I just realized that this is autumn and there is another nightmare happening at the moment. So we are not going to continue with that expedition at the moment. I guess we're just waiting on that one to finish up before we can continue there. I won't start a new location because I feel like doing 3 locations at once is a slippery slope and I will forget what on earth is happening. So this helicopter is just going to sit idle for a little bit unless we can do another location, Malicious Dungeon. You don't have any bad things at the moment, and we do have a spirit key on us. We just need to make sure that we send our survival expert, who I believe is on another expedition at the moment. No, you're just doing restoration. Perfect. All right, so we'll send you, and we will send someone with happy things. So Nora Vibes could probably go. At this point, it really doesn't matter all that much. Because everyone has the levels that we need anyway. Yeah, it really doesn't matter all that much as long as they have at least 1 level in Happy Thoughts. We could continue sending Pandora Pike, but that doesn't really seem like a thing that we should do because she has traumatic XP at the moment. Quencel Drum could go. Don't really like that option. I think for the moment we will just send Nora Vibes. And we are basically just looking for different perks that we can find. And that'll be good. So we'll send them on a safe expedition because it doesn't seem like the quality here actually matters, and that should be fine. So we'll continue on with that. There is the pristine version of the Spring on Flower. Do we have all of the things that we need for this? We need to deconstruct another 2 copy blight plants, but I believe there is 1 in there, so that's done. Spring on Flower, we also have enough to deconstruct, and the Frogborn is done, so I believe that location is finished once we actually deconstruct all of those things. We are going to throw the Spring on Flower down. It requires a hot climate, so it can live right over here with these guys, and I think that fits just perfectly right in there. We are probably going to need another heater to get that done. You are now officially happy. You require a hologram. I don't know if I have any of those. And I don't. That is a space decoration that we cannot get. So you are just going to sit there with a little bit less buzz than you normally would. Otherwise, you are pretty happy. So we're going to send a perk on you. We should also start putting perks on these guys. You're going to get a knowledge boost, and everyone else should be happy there. We can also go ahead and add that to our tour. Perfect. Done. Absolutely fantastic. All right. So that is another location complete. Where do we go next? That is the question. A spirit gentlefolk is loose and causing chaos. A supernatural expert needs to calm them down. How did you get loose and why are you causing chaos? Spirits become restless over time as their peace decays. Supernatural experts will pacify spirits to keep them peaceful. Poltergeists that reach 0% peace break out from their rooms, becoming free spirits that haunt the museum. Okay. That's not good. I guess that just means we need more supernatural stuff. And that is probably because all of our staff are currently out doing expeditions. Currently no one is out, so we should be able to get that under control, I believe. There's no way to call an expert on you. Hopefully it just sort of happens at some point. Yeah, there we go. Things are happening. Calm them down. There they go. And they're back in their room. Okay, perfect. I might go ahead and hire another supernatural expert then, because that sounds like a fantastic idea. Potentially even another 2. We're doing okay on our money at the moment. We should probably go ahead and do a pay review for everyone. That's going to cost us an extra $8,000 a year. I think that's fine. All right, next location. Well, actually, is this location back up and running yet? Let's have a look. Not quite. But as soon as this month ends, it should be. So give it a second. There we go. Start expedition, and we will go back to the Hellhole hangout. What are we actually looking for here now? We have everything pristine. The Hellhole henchman is the only thing we need. We have one of you there, so we need one more Hellhole henchman, and then that location will be complete, so that's fantastic. We are sending Davina Catborn here, yes. We are sending Pandora Pike, and our 2 security guards with the appropriate skills. For right now, we can go ahead and just do safe because we have everyone leveled up. Send an expedition journal. That'll be fine. Okay. Next location. Can we do here, or does this require people that we're sending out already? I can't remember. This is the backwards passage. So this was going to be Usha Pugwash, who is on the other mission. Okay, so that's not going to work. There was another one though. The Dead Air Theater, we might be able to do this. No, this required, well, actually, we could just ignore it again, because again, we have everyone we need. So this was going to be Camilla Hogwash again. She was going to be cancelling out the traumatic experience on this location, but like I said, it doesn't really matter all that much. So we can basically send anyone else we like. I'll probably go ahead and send Ariana Tickle because she does have the survey skills. That is going to unlock the friendly ghost, and then we just need an assistant who has at least 1 level in customer service. Ideally someone who has photographic memory, but that's not a thing that we have. So Barry Solomon, you are officially sent out to that. And the survey scanner. With a detailed expedition, we can get 95. Is that worth doing? Probably not, but we're going to do it anyway. And we can start working on this location. They are going to get the traumatic experience curse, but again, like I said, we don't really care about it because everyone is leveled up as much as I need them to. And them leveling up more is just going to cost us more money in the long run anyway. So yeah, we're not too concerned about that. Not too concerned about that at all. So that should be absolutely fine. I am going to, you've leveled up tour guidelines. Yeah, you can get another level of that. Why not? It's going to cost us a little bit more money, but maybe you'll make us more money in the long run. We are going to continue on with our perks. You already have a knowledge boost, so you can get buzz bonus, and you can get, I don't know, you have entertainment boost, throw down a knowledge boost on you, and that should be good. All right, we're going to continue on with these new locations, and we'll come back as soon as things are happening. And there is the last Hellhole henchman we need, so we'll go ahead and send them to the inventory, and we can start looking at another new location, which is very exciting. We're slowly but surely getting through this Netherworld, which is very, very cool. The question is, where can we go next? So you are the one we just sent out, I believe. Can we now do this because we have finished this? Maybe. Let's go ahead and set up the expedition and see if this works out. So this one is going to require our survival expert, Davina Catborn. Our security guard is going to be... Usha Pugwash? No, probably Sam Moose. Unless we have a janitor that has 2 levels in that. Yeah, we do. Okay, perfect. So you are going to be Usha Pugwash. And then for the traumatic experience... we don't have anyone that can do that. Nora Vibes is close. But again, we don't really care about traumatic experience at all. So we're going to send the survey scanner, do a detailed expedition. That's going to get us 75%. Absolutely fantastic. I'm making more survey scanners as we speak, and we will continue on. The other thing that I can now do is, because we have a whole bunch of exhibits lined up for deconstruction, we can actually start upgrading this room because we no longer need any more experience, right? Which means we can jump into the edit room button and go ahead and unlock the small server cabinets. We can unlock, I believe, the server cabinet is probably the one that I should have unlocked because that gets us an extra 10%, whereas the one that I just unlocked only gets us an extra 5, but that's going to be okay. We can work with that. So we're going to throw you down. That's going to give us an extra 5% power. This is going to grab us an extra 2% power. And the analysis microscope here is going to get us an extra 1%. So all in all, that's going to get us an extra 8%. And we can go ahead and accept that. That should make our deconstructions a little bit quicker. We have now spent 5,000 kudos. We still have 1,900 in the bank, but yeah, that is going to be the plan. And this should level up to Deconstructor level 2. I will then go ahead and level it up to Deconstructor level 3. I'm going to continue to make survey scanners and potentially hire another botany expert because all of our plants are dying. So we'll come back in a little bit. All right, I believe that was a Pristine famous person thing. That was the Pickles Grater. We haven't found Pickle yet, who I assume is the owner of that, but that's going to be okay. Well, I imagine we'll find them soon enough. So we will continue on over here. And there is Butch Pickles. I assume he owns the thing that we just owned. The original cheeseball legend still holds every major record in the sport. Such was the disparity in skill level between them and their stupid old competitors. So I feel like you're not going to like being in with any other cheeseball legends. I'm going to throw you in here for the moment just to see what you want. You want the Pickles Grater exhibit? No fire, don't share a room with an average quality spirit or lower, and don't share a room with a rival cheeseball legend. Now, you prefer industrial age decor, but you don't seem to mind being in this sunken room even a little bit. What is that? Just because they're dead doesn't mean all spirits are alike. Personalized poltergeist rooms with complementary decor to keep spirits immersed and comfortable. Low immersion increases the rate at which spirits' peace decays. Okay, so you probably should be in an industrial age decor room. You're not going to like being in here. I think we're going to have to go ahead and build another one. This one is full, so yeah, it's going to be another room, which is fine. We can absolutely do that. Let's go ahead and build that, I guess. So we're going to jump into rooms. We're going to jump into poltergeist room, and I'll leave a 2 gap, and we'll make this 3 by 7, just the same as the rest. Throw the door on the end, and that should be good. So I'll go ahead and make this industrial age decor and grab, where are you? Is this you? No, you're in the other room. Butch Pickles, you are going to be moved into here. And we'll go ahead and decorate this room out for you. So currently your immersion is 25%, keep that in mind. All you need is the Pickles Grater. You don't want to fire, and you don't want to share a room with another cheeseball legend. Let's go ahead and build this room out in a quick little time lapse, and I'll be back in a little bit. And they should be very happy in there. That is perfect. The only thing left to do, of course, is to go ahead and grab our hanging signs, throw them up, and this should hopefully cover that room as well. Yes, it does, so that is going to be perfect. The question is, can we include this without this being too long? Absolutely we can. That is going to be great. You are supernatural only, so that should be working fantastically. We are going to continue on. Alright, we've found ourselves the Hellhole chair. Again, this is a famous possession, but we do not have the ghost just yet, so I'm going to send that to the inventory and continue on with our expeditions. Alright, we have Humphrey Hellhole, co-leader of the Hellhole gang, the worst group of scumbags in our world and the next. Humphrey has been fighting with his twin sister Hester in a bid to be the worst person ever. They've both got a shot. So that is, I believe, the last thing we actually needed from that location. If we double check and wait for this to come back, and we'll see. But that looked like it was just, if we look at our log here, that is the wrong location. This one here, yeah, we absolutely have everything because the Hellhole henchman was at 2 different locations. And we had 2 famous things in that location. So that is Backwaters Passage actually complete. We just need to figure out where we want to throw them down, and they might be able to go in with Butch Pickles here. He doesn't seem to have any issues with them, so let's have a look at Humphrey Hellhole. What just happened? I did not put him in there. Okay, you go in there. You don't want to have, or no, you do want to have a fire. Did you not want to have a fire? Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, and you want to have the Hellhole chair, but otherwise you are happy. Butch Pickles, I really wish you didn't mind having a fire. That's unfortunate. You're at 125 out of 135. Okay, I think I will leave the fire out for now. We'll throw the Hellhole chair in. That can live, I don't know, in that corner, really creepy like. That is going to be 130 out of 135. You are 100% immersed. You are 100% immersed. So you guys are going to be happy enough. I'm going to leave the locations for right now because I think I would like to do that on the next episode. Plight-headedness is another thing that we got. You are going to be sent to the inventory for deconstruction for the moment. And you are going to be sent back out to this location, I believe is the one we're still working on. No, this one. So we still need a Pristine Haunted TV and a Pristine Plight-headedness, and I believe they still need a little bit of knowledge as well. But that is going to be where we continue on for now, just getting the rest of the things from this location. And then in the next episode, we're going to come back and redesign our entire museum. I'm going to finish off the Netherworld. We're going to basically bulldoze everything and redesign this museum so it looks absolutely pristine. And I think that is probably where I will end this series. But for right now, we're going to continue on with this location. If you guys like that idea, let me know down in the comments below. Another dilemma. Bless this mess. Your team have become confused in the winding paths of the Netherworld. A spirit lies under a tree nearby, sneezing every few seconds. Ask them for life advice. So that is going to cost us 500 less, I think. Your crew asks what they should do, not just now, but in general. The Snotty Spectre lets out a great howl and covers your team in ectoplasm. Thankfully, the slime bestows a blessing on your crew. They leave with a newfound sense of purpose. So we get another blessing, and I think it costs us 500 less. Honestly, we don't really care about $500 anyway. We also had a spirit get loose, so we are going to go ahead and try and hire another supernatural expert. We have so many in this museum, but we are still making money, so I'm not too concerned about that. And we have a pristine version of the Haunted TV that we can go ahead and throw down somewhere. I'm going to throw that down right over here for the moment because I think that actually fits quite nicely. You do need a little bit more decoration, which is going to be absolutely fine. I think we can just go ahead and throw another one of them in there. And what else do you require? You need a catacomb wall. So maybe we move this over a little bit, or we do two of them. We go there and like there. I believe we can fit a catacomb wall in the middle. So close. One more over, and we will go ahead and grab the catacomb wall, throw that right there, and you should now be 100% happy. Go ahead and throw some perks on you. And again, we've got people causing chaos everywhere. Do we need another supernatural person? Also, my game just froze. That's not, there it is. Okay, it's back. We didn't crash. That's fine. We can go ahead and upgrade our deconstructor another time and continue deconstructing all of the things that we need. And that is another pristine exhibit. That is a plight-headedness. I don't know where you would like to be, so we are going to throw you down. You want industrial age, which is fantastic. You have a clock and you don't share a room with gentlefolk. I don't believe either of these guys will mind you being in there. So that was a nice easy one to throw down. And I believe, was that everything we needed at that location? Let's have a quick look. That is all pristine. The question is, do we have all of the knowledge on them? And the question is, I don't know. It looks like we do need at least another 2 plight-headednesses. I think there might be one in here. No, there's not. There's nothing in there. Okay, so we will deconstruct you. What else was at that location? I don't remember. Let's have a quick look. That was the Haunted TV. and Pickles. So the haunted TV is down here. You are only at 1 at 3, so we need to go there a couple more times. I might go ahead and do that off camera, grind out all of the knowledge for the things that we currently have. We have 1 haunted TV in here. I'll go ahead and grind out the rest, and we will come back next episode to finish off the Netherworld. I don't believe we have very many locations left to do. That's finished. We have Spiffenmore's Spire left. That's fine. We can absolutely get that done. You guys are all done. We have 1 more perk that we can discover in there. That's a point of interest obstruction that actually doesn't matter even a little bit. That's finished. That's finished. Yeah, I think that's everything finished apart from the Grave Shallows, which I don't really care about for this museum. And then once we've finished off the last place, which is Spiffenmore's Spire, with another famous spirit and cursed objects and famous possessions, I am going to call the Netherworld done. Now, technically speaking, there are a few more exhibits that we could throw in this museum. For instance, the Troll Temple has a famous spirit, but I'm not going to worry about them. I don't think it's worth the time. This game is absolutely fantastic, but the grind to get everything pristine and all analyzed to 100% is a little bit too much for me. The gameplay loop is getting a little bit repetitive. So what I want to do is I want to go finish off the Netherworld to the extent that I want to finish it off. And then I want to bulldoze this entire thing and build my dream haunted museum. Whether or not we throw the plants in there or not, I'm not 100% sure. Let me know what your thoughts are for a final version of this museum look like in the comments down below. If you guys are enjoying this series, make sure to go ahead and leave a like and a comment for the sake of engagement. Subscribe if you haven't already. Consider becoming a member of the channel for early access to all of our videos. Also, go ahead and check out our new Schedule 1 playlist. It's on the channel. Go find it. It's very cool. I love that game. But until next time, happy building, happy curating. Bye, guys.